Hello everybody, it's Crazy Logics 007 on YouTube, Crazy Logics in the forums, and everybody else just calls me Damon. We have one of the brand new, this is the new power series, the T750X1BD. Rockford, these are little bitty tiny suckers, 750 watt mono, really cool amps. Man, I don't know how they're packing them so little, but they are. But this one's not working. It went into protect, blew the fuses. And so we're going to start from the beginning, put our meter in diode mode, and we're going to go to the P plus and ground. Let's see if we get anything here. Nothing that way. Wonder if the cap's are already charged. Or if I mean, oh, well, that's all goofy. Should just, I mean, this is just low voltage stuff. Well, it's staying at a short at about 17 ohmage. So it means maybe something in the power supply here. So these amps, if I can get it out, there we go. Use these big heavy duty plugs. Here we go, we'll get it. Camera, this one will tell you battery, ground, remote. Make sure you get it all hooked up right. And then this is your speaker out. Here's what it looks like there. And you can see they're marked on the amplifier there also. On this end, you got your subwoofer remote, and then you got your inputs. Now these inputs, supposedly, this harness comes, this is how this one came to me because it needs to be repaired, but I don't know what all it comes with in the box, but you can see a splice in there. But I believe it comes this way, and you can like cut this or something like that, and you can actually speaker level input, supposedly, up to a point. You need to read the instruction manual right into here, and then it also tells you what the layout is so that you know that you hook it up right. So these are pretty awesome little amps. They've got, yeah, right there. Tells you to cut it. If I can get the glare off. Cut that off after that must be what this bulge in the middle is. Cut that off and then use it as a speaker level input. Let's see if I can get the glare off there. Yeah, and then it's 1 ohm stable, and it tells you what the indicators are here on the top for the clip, in and out, whether or not you got infrasonic filter, power, all that stuff. Really nice. All the new Rockford Power series that are like this, all the new Punch as far as I know, and all the new Prime R2 have this clipping level indicator stuff built into the amp. So it's like having I think it's a DD1 built into the amp. Really cool. But should be a much better way of letting, you know, your average enthusiast be able to hook these up and turn up their radio before they hook up the speakers, set their actual know if their radio is clipping on the input, then set their once they turn it down below clipping, they can crank it up here. These come with a test CD, by the way, and a whole set of instructions that tell you how to set this, use these clipping indicators and stuff and set these correctly so that you set your gain to match the radio that you have, whether it's got 2 volt outputs or 4 volt outputs, or if you're using speaker level in, whatever it ends up being, so that you're not clipping your amplifier, and that way you should have less of a chance to blow it. However, this one did blow. We'll try to figure out why. Now if you look, this sucker does not have any exposed screws. So we'll call this first part of the video, and maybe first video, depending on what all is wrong with this thing. We'll call this a teardown video for this, because I don't think anybody's tore one down. And this is the new power series, like I said, T750X1BD. So to get into these, there's a couple things you need to do. One, if you look real close and careful at the Rockford label, there's a couple little places where you can, right here in the corners, where you can get your pick in, a little pointed pick like this, and slightly pry up, and then you can very carefully work your way, and it's stuck down with double-sided tape. You remove the Rockford logo, There's a screw. Get that out. And then also I have some guitar pick style stuff openers, plastic razor blades and stuff. A lot of times you can use them to get up under this. See how this is chrome on this edge, so we're going to want to be real careful getting up underneath there. Sometimes you have to get underneath with something a little more metal to get a little pry, maybe get a pick in there. Real careful. And sometimes it helps to get one of these openers. And they got all kinds of opener tools you can get. Thanks to the cell phone repair industry, we have all kinds of neat stuff. There we go. Once you're under there, you can kind of pop it free with a pick and get underneath there so you don't bend it, because this is thin aluminum. And you can see this has got tape here and here. We'll set that up right, and some of the tape's left on there. There's a pair of screws here. And also, when you're taking this apart, be really careful that you notice there's a little plastic piece, if I can get it out here, that's on the switch. And that, instead of like a felt or whatever, they've actually used a plastic. So we'll put that over there with that. And then on the back side, in every corner, if you work your way in, you can get an edge up, get it pried back, flick it up, you'll see there's a screw in every corner. And you're going to do all four corners. I've already taken these three corners out to speed up the video just a tiny bit. But that should allow you to pull the end caps off. You got to be careful doing that too. Oh, that one popped off. This is the one with the fans. And that's going to dangle there. This is, we want this end off really bad. There we go. It's coming. Like I said, sometimes you can get a little tool in there to help pry and pop it apart. It has alignment pins and stuff. And then these are the three screws. That was the two screws in the corner, and that was a screw at the top. One side's got fans, the other side's just got vents. And you're going to pull this out as far as you can, and then you're going to want to look right here. I'm going to show you. See, the heat sink is clipped into here and clipped into here. So this whole shell needs to slide off. Now you can't go this way because it'll hit the crossover card. And so for that, we need a hammer. And we're just going to take a rubber mallet. And we're just going to give it a few tappity taps. Real gentle like. And what that's going to do, you can see it sliding down the end here. So it's easier for me to do it here beside me. So once you've got it a little bit, and you've tapped it down just a little, you can take a reversed clamp, place it in there. See how I got this clamp set up reversed. Work it and expand that heatsink a little. That should make it slide even faster. Now you need to watch out for these cables and cords that stuff doesn't get pinned. And so I'm sliding them all out of the way. And technically, I think I can get in here now and unplug them. I'm going to keep going here. A little more pressure on it. And it's this top cover, the one with the Rockford indentation. That's where we've got our little spreader on. That's the one that comes off. The board's attached to the bottom one. And As you get it a little more, move your clamp a little more to help apply some spreading pressure. If I had a higher quality clamp, it would help. I'm just going to use a rubber mallet. Still not ready to come free. Let's see if giving that a squeeze will, I mean, it's a tight fit. Some of them are tighter than others, but that's why you're using a rubber mallet. I'm just going to keep sliding it on down. And I may cut some of this sliding out, you never know. But it does take a good little while. Oh, now it's starting to come. Let's see if I can readjust. Give it a little more pressure. A little more pressure. Like I said, I'm just hitting it just like that. Let's carefully readjust and get a little more spread here. Oh, it's almost to the point I can slide it. Like I said, depending on how loud that hammering noise is, there may be some fast forward here. I'll say that again at the end of all this, just to explain in case we did fast forward. And there we go. Awesome. Okay. So, just looking right here. I don't know if that's just oil or what. Let's get this amp over here. And oh, I can see something right off the bat. See those caps? The main rail caps? Those are bulged out, popped, and have spewed electrolyte, and I can see it all on the top of this, and that cover would be like that. So that's electrolyte. That's got to be cleaned. I wonder, yeah, there's a little tiny bit there, but not very much. That's why we didn't notice it right off the start. And I think I found the other error. Let's see if I hold this up here like this. I see something else wrong. Doobie doobie. Do you see this? This right here. From the way this looks, the way this should probably be, I would say these are the power supply FETs. These are the output FETs. Maybe some of these are going to be voltage regulators or something. I mean, it's packed in there. I mean, these are the rail caps. Those are the input filter caps. These are output filter inductors, output filter cap. If this is traditional BD design, this is going to be a couple of the driver transformers for the BD, but I don't know how they've stuffed it all in there, and I don't know what's on the bottom yet. I haven't got that far. But I can see, and I can actually see it's cracked. So we was having problems right there on the input. We've seen the bad capacitors. Look at this bar. This bar Goes all the way out to here. It's not clamping any FET here, but look here. It's not clamping on that FET. And if you really look close, can you see it right? If I can hold the camera just right there in the corner. There's a crack in that FET. It's cracked right through there and all the way diagonal across. From the looks of it, this bar should be flipped around. So let's pull it out and see. We should be able to take, let me get these fans out of here, if they'll come out. They may be glued. I sure hope not. I don't want to tear anything up quite yet. Get my little everything's so tight in this. Alright, screw it for now until I get this on out of here. But let's take this clamp off. So this is my first time repairing one of these, so I'm going to be taking lots of photos once I get it all apart and making a whole bunch of notes. And so let's grab this bar. It's hooked to these. Peel it off these FETs. There we go. Ooh, yep, it blew FETs. It's cooked. But look at that bar. It is clamped, 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 and theirs was blown. And this is where that FET was unclamped. I think that bar should have been like this. And then it would have had a FET impression right there, there, and there. And that, if you line it up with the screw holes, would put it right there. And yep. So that right there, factory defect. They accidentally put this bar in backwards. This FET probably got hot as blue blazes. And I'd say the first four are probably FETs, because the numbering is Q9, Q4, Q37. No, the first three are probably FETs. So these maybe, because they got this one labeled U5, U66. So we'll have to look. I'll have to look, but I can see these two. Get my fat head out of the way, but you can see those two where they burnt up real good. So that's in the power supply. So I'll assume there's a couple more. Q9, Q that, and Q37. I don't know if that's a power supply FET or not. We'll have to look and see. This is going to be a learning process for me. We're going to have to do cleaning. We've definitely got bad stuff here. So we need to go ahead and get the rest of these clamps out. Now I have come out. Yeah. So I have get this unstuck from there. These FETs. So yeah, see, one that had been in the right position would have had, you know, all the indentations. It's kind of nice. You can actually read in the indentation. We get to focus. You can actually read backwards the FET. So that was an FB4410Z. That's going to be what that is. Wonder what these are. Let me look at these. These say... we may have to look at the other side. This may be too burnt up. I'll get my little eye loop and see if I can read some of it to you. That's an AFK18. No, that's a U1620RG. So this was incorrectly installed here. So that one right there is the rectifier. These two should then be a rectifier. And oh, this is the U1620G, so this is another rectifier. So that's the positive and negative rectifiers. And then I cannot really tell what that is. IRFB Z something. We'll have to get to this other side maybe, or maybe we can read it off that once we get it out of there. Let's go ahead and it's got screws at the side that are holding these clamps in, which is like the old style Rockfords did back, the old school punch 150s and 150 HD and all the HDs 45, 75, all that stuff. So I have some of the silicone material that goes on those clamps, but it's actually thicker on the old school stuff. So I may have to order some that are thin to repair that. But we'll probably have to order some parts here because I don't know if I'm going to have these output fits. Like I said, this is all new to me. I'm going to have to be taking some notes, and this will either be a two-part series or it'll be through the magic of YouTube, as we've done before. Alright, so this side, that side was IRFB something. This is FB 4410Zs. Okay. It's all four of them that way. 4410Zs. Okay. And then up here on the power supply area where this clamp is installed correctly. Let's see if we can get this out. See, this is how that clamp should have been installed, with the short end here, so you'd have a one there, one there, one there, one there, and then it'd catch the end one, and it did not. So factory faux pas on the assembly. It's obviously never been into. Nobody did that, because otherwise there would have been a smash there. That's crazy, huh? So let's read these FETs. Let's see if I can see here. IRFB 7437. There's 3 of them. And then cannot tell exactly what those are. I may have to look at them. I got a funny feeling we either got rectifiers on one side and regulators on the other, or something like that. But so we're going to have one half the power supply pulls here and one half there for 3 FETs on each side. I don't know if there's any screws. I don't know what. Oh, no, it doesn't feel like anything's holding it. Looky there. Came right out. So it comes with, oh, okay, so you need to be careful when assembling and disassembling and banging on these things. These are ceramic, these heat spreaders, and so they got a tiny bit of thermal paste on them, and they're the like the aluminized ceramic stuff and everything, and they're kind of pricey, and they're going to be impossible to find, so be careful, don't break one. We'll clean that up if it's got any spewage on it from the capacitor. But they're going to be impossible to find, but they are highly efficient, so that's really cool. So this is first part, tear down and learning a little here. So we know we got blown caps there. We know we got half the power supply at least is blown. We'll have to check all the output stuff here. But I'm going to try to get these fans. There. They just got a big clip on them. And the room is so tight that it's hard to get them off there. That gets that off there. And that is the side with the fans. Now I wonder, this was the side with the fans, this was the side without. I wonder if that could have been visible. Those were right there. Boy, you might have been able to see that defect through there if you was really looking and knew what to look for. That'd be interesting, huh? So let's look at the bottom of the board. Holy moly. There's a ton of components underneath there. So this is a double-sided setup. That's how they're cramming all this in there. I'm going to have to make a whole bunch of notes. But we're going to do the important part right now. And we'll see. Got my meter in diode mode. It's going to be a little hard to maybe check these power supply FETs because they... the caps are so bad that they may be bad. Let me look. Let me try to give you a little info as I'm going here. Let me get the light out here. That's an LM317 and 337. So there's your voltage regulators. That's what that is. They're just, the engravings are so faint I couldn't see them on the clamp bars. So power terminals, speaker out. So the power, there's your inline filters. You got 3 FETs, whatever the name was I said. I'm going to make notes here in a minute. You got your 2 rectifiers here, and then you're going to have your 3 rail caps. These are 80 volt. So who knows what the rail voltage is. Hopefully we'll know by the end of the thing. Here's your 2 voltage regulators that are going to be making your plus and minus 15 volts for the opt amps for the preamp section over here. And then this should be all output FETs, and we said the output FET is FB4410Z. So maybe we'll get lucky and all our damage is up here. Or maybe we'll be massively unlucky and somebody completely blew it. These are not beeping. So that whole side in the output section is blown. Now, depending on how they did this, if this is still a traditional class BD, technically half of these will be switchers and half of these will be outputs. And I'll explain that in the next video. Oh man, we got some stuff blowed up right there. We'll have to look at that in the next video. But here's the teardown of it. We know we at least got to rebuild a power supply, maybe the output section, maybe the BD drive. I've got to do some inspecting to see what all these chips are to make sure this is actually like the original BD circuits. If so, that means half of them are switchers, half of them are outputs. And do a little figuring here before I can go forward. So at least you know how to tear them down now, and you kind of know what's in them. And look forward to the part 2, and we'll get the output side out, and then we'll rebuild this power supply. Hopefully I can get the FETs. Parts shortages are crazy right now. And at least get the power supply up and running so that we can start testing for BD drive and maybe fix this back here. We'll see. Alrighty. I hope you learned something. Hope you at least found it enjoyable to see one of the guts. One of the new ones. Like I said, here is the bottom. Look at all those chips and everything. So it's pretty crazy. And give me a like, subscribe, and comments, man. I try to get the comments. I don't get to all of them, and I'm way behind on some of them, but I will get to the ones I can answer. And, man, thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Stay safe.